Chowdhary's Homeopathy. This is Dr. Venkat Chowdhary, Senior Homeopathy Consultant as well as Assistant Professor. Today again I came with the nice beautiful case, a girl with eczematous dermatitis. Though little bit a long case, I request you all watch the video until the end. You will get good information from the case. This video will useful for the students, growing homeopaths and enthusiastic homeopaths. Thank you for watching. Okay, coming to the case. The patient name is Famida, age 15 years old girl. Address is Ballari, my clinic city. She was brought by her aunt, sister of her mother, for her skin complaints. She has been suffering with these skin complaints since 8 to 10 months of time. The entire case history narrated partially by her aunt and partially the some of the share by the patient. They both narrated the case. They both entered into the clinic chamber. All the formal details and the chief complaints once narrated by her aunt. As late as she completed the details, the girl did not spoken even a single word. I assumed that that is the adaptation problem to me and my clinic environment. She sat quiet with a hanging down head, sat silently without talking. She did not tell anything until I started to ask a question. Then I started to ask the questions, what is your name? Then the girl said, the Famida. She mumbled with an insipid tone. There was no interest to make the conversation with me. Then I asked, why did you come here? What's your problem? I asked her to talk about complaints. But the girl with a little bit gap, with a raised head, slowly, I have itching on my both limbs, upper and lower limbs. Then I asked her, show me the place where you are getting the itching. Being a Muslim girl, she raised her burqa sleeves and showed her upper limbs, the itching eruptions. Then I observed the eruptions. I have given here the description of the eruptions. Eruptions are in groups at some places. Some are alone, some are wounded due to scratching until the blood comes out. With raised edges, some are hard with raised hard borders due to chronicity of the eruptions. Appearing darker areola around eruptions. Then I asked her to tell me about your sufferings. The girl said like this, itching is coming from these eruptions. Then I asked her, who comes first, itching or eruptions? Whether itching or eruptions, tell me who comes first or who starts first. The girl said like this, it starts as a small papillary eruptions, like a bump followed by itching. The scratching makes the eruptions ulcers and a bit of bleeding, and it becomes bigger, as shown in the pic. This is the right leg of the person. Itching eruptions with a darker areola and wounded, some are ulcerated. Then I asked, how does it makes you suffer? The girl narrated like this: it gives itching, burning, comes after scratching. Sometimes blood comes by scratching. Then I asked, where do itching comes more? I mean, at what time? I mean, is there any specific time, any factor triggers to come out the eruptions and itching? But by my questioning, the girl looked at her aunt a little bit confusion. After taking a gap, started narration. Itching comes all times but at night time. It comes during sleep and disturb my sleep. When I take blanket, the itching increases more, so I avoid blanket during sleep. If I start scratching, eventually it increases the itching until the blood comes. I keep on scratching. Once the blood comes out, stop scratching. Then burning starts. This happens every time. So the burning sensation after scratching more and more the blood until the blood comes and until the part becomes raw. Then I asked the question, is there any food linked to itching? I mean, do you have any idea about food increases or decreases itching? I mean, I asked the aggravations and ameliorations or modalities of the case. The girl said, sometimes after taking meat, little bit it increases. I supposed that was because of spicy. Then I asked, do you suspect or know anything cause for this ailment? I mean, so and so's incident after only this itching started. Then the girl said, I don't know, doctor, with a little bit confidence, as if she got no valid point in memorizing causative element. Then I asked, is there anything about itching? Do you want to say something about your complaints? She kept quiet for some time and said, nothing is there. I expressed all things, doctor. Then I asked, why do you so thin and lean, madam? So I asked about the patient's appearance. Is your good appetite good? Then the girl nodded her head as if the answer is yes, my appetite is good. Then her aunt meddlesome with my conversation. Doctor, nowadays she is not eating properly. Earlier she was good at eating. Then I asked the girl, is there anything about not eating well? As your aunt said, if there is a problem, let me know. I asked her very sympathetically, very mild tone, to know to the secret of the girl. Then girl said, no doctor, I am well. She concluded, as if no interest to prolong the conversation with me, with the discussion also. But my homeopathic senses considered something suspicious and decided to dig out tactically. Then I sent the girl outside from my chamber and said, sit outside for some time. I started the conversation with her aunt to dig out the girl's history. Tell me something about that girl. I asked her aunt, why is she so moody, not interested in telling her complaints actively? What happened to her? Is there anything in her life? Then her aunt said, she is a 9th standard studying girl. Some guy has been following her since 2 years. She accepted his proposal to marry him, but the twist is that guy had already wife with kids. Now he is proposing this girl also to get married. She knows all about that guy married already. Still she is in love with him. Her parents convinced her to avoid him since 1.5 years. She agreed everything to forget him, obeying parents' words. But as per my analysis, doctor, she did not forget him. She still loves him. She is still in his memories. On account of fear that her parents would beat her, she does refuse to accept she still loves him. This is the fact as I observed her. Then I called that girl into my chamber and I sent her aunt outside. Then I asked the girl, tell me something about your life. Is there any disappointment? Is there any anxiety, tensions in your life? Then that girl said, they sat quiet, has no interest to say anything and continue the discussion. Then I pointed out the love symbol which was drawn over her forearm at the wrist place. What is this? Is there any story behind this? Your aunt said something about your love story. Do you still love him, though he is a married guy? You know all these things, though he was a married guy. No, I don't love him. I forgot him in a muttering manner, she answered. Then I called her on into the chamber and started conversation, both of them. Then our aunt said, no doctor, she is still in love with him. She is lying in front of you. Her mind always on him only. I know it very well. Then girl looked at her aunt and turned her head down as if she is telling everything in front of me. She is revealing. Then our aunt, she gets anger. Then I asked the questions about her nature. Tell me about something about the girl's nature, her emotions, the behavior in the home. Then our aunt said she gets anger when we opposed her decisions, likes and like this love affair, love issues. She doesn't listen our words, gets anger easily. Then I asked her, or else anything to tell here about the girl nature. Then our aunt said, accept this, everything is good, doctor. So the case is over. So I took all the details of the girl and past history of the girl, the causative factors, and analyzed, and I framed a case. So here I am giving the analysis of the case as well as the rubrics by the patient's narration. Coming to the analysis, since the case began, the girl sat silently. Unless we ask a question, she doesn't want to give answer. It gives a clue that she is bearing stress in her mind. In fact, she did not accept it. Accepted or revealed her love issue, the face of me. All information out by our aunt only. The girl is not interested to express anything in front of me except the eruption's description. When the love story disclosed to her parents and when the details of the boy disclosed and acknowledged it to her, thereafter she disappointed. So the result is she carried this unhappy for a long time and she was bitten by it. She has been carrying the thought about him, but contrary situation is there. He was a married guy. The situations and her mind both contradicts each other. She wants him and the situation is different. The contradicts our desires. This contradiction brings her into the stress and depression. Then her body tries to throw out the stress, unhappiness through the skin as venomous material. The skin expressed them as eczematous eruptions. The irritation expressed into itching, a psychosomatic expression. So for this description, for the information from this information, I selected rubrics as a causative factors. The first one is the ailments from unhappiness. She carried this unhappiness since long time. Ailments from contradiction. The situation and her desire both are contradicts. She used to get anger when contradictory circumstances, when her decisions are opposed by her family members, that triggers her anger. For this, rubric selected as emotional reaction, anger, contradiction from. Throughout the case taking, at any time, she never accepted or agreed that she still loves him, but the unspeaking behavior in front of me during the case taking gives that she is maintaining to hide something in front of me and family members at home, as if she is happy by the decision. She doesn't love him. For this, the rubric, the contrary behavior, I took the rubric affectation. Itching aggravates and covering with the blanket over the body during sleep. This thing we can take an interpretation as covering the body gives warmth sensation of the body. This warmth atmosphere further aggravates the itching of eruptions. So for the case, I have taken two general rubrics. Generalities covers aggravation, generalities warm wraps aggravation. I took the covering with the blanket as a two rubrics. Taken rubrics as locals of skin, eruptions eczema, eruptions discharging, scratching after the blood comes after scratching, eruptions itching warmth aggravation, itching scratching must scratch until it is raw. So she is scratching the eruptions until it is bleeding, blood comes after scratching and the ulcers formation is there, itching violent. So I took the rubric itching violent, itching on becoming warm. So I have given the remedy lycopodium 30 and I have used this remedy in different potencies 200, 1m up to. Prescribed above medicine in different potencies 200, 30 and 1m. Case completed in 4 months of time with good output. Case completed, completely cured. So these are the pics of before and after treatment. She completely cured with this case. I think this case is good example for the psychosomatic expressions. This case will useful for you. If anybody feel doubts or any expressions, feel free to ask and make the comment. And for this type of interesting cured cases in the homeopathy, please subscribe my channel and share the video. Thank you for listening and watching. Kai torsamma. Kai torsamma.